A very, very good afternoon. Welcome back to our channel, the Junior Primary channel for interview. Of course, I'm Dula Festus, and on today's video, we are going to look at the classroom management, how to manage a classroom as a teacher, as per, uh, as per National Policy Guide for junior primary subjects. So don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And guess what? If you have a question, addition, or suggestion, just type it right down in the comment section. And don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend. And let's just begin with today's discussion. So as I said, today we're going to look at the classroom management, how to manage a classroom as per described by the National Policy Guide for junior primary subjects. So let's have a look. I hope you all have your document and maybe a book or where to take your note. So let's start. Let's begin. The classroom management is divided into three parts. The classroom management is divided in three parts. In whatever question may be to be asked, when you are answering it, make sure that a question about classroom management, make sure that when you are answering that question, connect yourself with the three parts of classroom management. There are three. Number one is the classroom itself. Number one is the classroom itself. Number two is the positive discipline. Positive discipline, or to say the behaviors. And the last one, which is number three, is time management. The time management. So let's begin with the classroom itself. So it says, classroom management, it means, this is the definition now, how teachers handle or work the learners and use resources in their classroom. So classroom management, it refers to how a teachers handle the learners, or how a teacher work with the learners and use resources in the what? In the classroom. And then there are kind of resources in the classroom. You talk about time is also resources. Talk about the materials, talk about the activities, and as well as even the teachers' attitude and also learners' behavior. Those are just some of the resources to mention out. So let's just begin with the classroom as a what? As a part of how to manage the classroom. It says that the classroom management can be seen in three dimensions. The classroom can be seen in three dimensions. Number one is what? The classroom, the teacher, and the learners. The classroom is not just the room in which we teach, or a classroom is not just the room where we teach, but it also includes physical conditions, the structure of the classroom, the materials that are found in that specific classroom, the activities. When we talk about the activities, these are the activities that are going to consolidate learning, the activities that consolidate learning. And we are talking about the routines. When we talk about the routines, this is what a teacher and learners do each day. Routines. Okay, let's start with the physical condition. It says what? Ensure that all learners can see properly on the chalkboard. Yes, how can you manage your classroom now? Talk about the physical condition of the classroom. It's part of the classroom. Make sure that all learners have a clear view on the chalkboard. Arrange your learners maybe according to their height. The short ones to sit in front, and then maybe the taller ones to sit at the back. So make sure that every learner in your classroom have a clear view on the chalkboard. And then here you need to also consider maybe there's a certain learner who can't see very well, maybe from far, from a certain distance. You need to make sure that that learner, you make that learner to come and sit to the front, so she or he can see properly on the chalkboard. So it says again that ensure that the learners are not too hot or too cold. So this means that the ventilation, make sure that when it's cold, make sure that maybe you let learners close some windows in the door. Some, not all the windows, but only some. And maybe during hot time, make sure that the windows are open for air ventilation. You need to make sure that the learners are not too hot or too cold. Okay, the teacher's desk must be out of the way and should not form a barrier between him or her and the learners. Make sure that your table as a teacher is not in front maybe of the chalkboard. It must be at least aside, or maybe at least aside a little bit to the corner, a little bit to where to the cupboard side. Yeah, whereby it cannot be a barrier into your classroom. Maybe a barrier to you as a teacher. Maybe you can't even move freely, or maybe it limits also learners on their way out of the classroom or on their view to the chalkboard. Make sure that it must not make a barrier in the classroom setting. Arrange desk in groups which will be easy to work at. You need to arrange the desk in the classroom. You need to arrange the desk in a form of a group, grouping your learners and in your classroom. It will make you easy to work with the learners and even to walk freely in the classroom, maybe to walk around the classroom. It also creates a space for you as a teacher and learners also to walk freely in the classroom. Put all materials, the books, and the stationery within easy reach of all learners. Make sure that all learners have the access to the material. Don't place the material maybe a little bit high, maybe on top of the cupboard. Some of the learners, they cannot reach. And make sure that all learners have the equal access to these materials or resources. Try to arrange space where the teacher can do one-on-one teaching if necessary. Make sure that you arrange a space where the teacher can do one-on-one teaching in if necessary. There must be enough room between the desk so that everybody can move around freely. Yes, that is just what I said. The classroom must be clean, attractive, and exciting. Make sure that your classroom is clean. You need to set up a cleaning list with your learners, and cleaning it must be also part of the rules. One of the rules must be like keep the classroom clean. That must be one of the rules. Keep the classroom clean. So here we are talking about hygiene. So the classroom must be clean, attractive. When you're talking about attractive, you're talking about it's physical now. It need to be things on the wall. They need to be colorful. It must be of standard when it's come to attractive and exciting. Exciting, learners must share ownership, and learners learn when it's fun. Make sure that it's exciting. Yes, the display learners work. Display learners work art, maybe on the wall. This also makes some learners, or let me just say, it makes learners feel accommodated and feel part of the classroom setting. So that was a physical condition. Then we move to teaching materials. The teaching materials now. Have your materials ready before the school begins. You need to have your materials ready before the school begins. That's why um, there is a time for preparation, a preparation time for teachers to write lesson plans, to find out the teaching aids, the appropriate teaching materials, and all resources needed for the next day. And then, if the time is not enough, so it is up to teachers now in the management school to maneuver that time. So make sure that you have the materials ready before the school begins. So have your flashcards, the worksheets ready before the lesson. So this is why sometimes we can find just a teacher. So when it's during the lesson time, it's now the time to go print out the worksheets, which is not needed, and it's a wasting of time. You need to have the flashcards and the worksheets ready before the lesson begins. Replace lost or stolen or damaged materials. You need to replace them. You can just even find a poster which is maybe teared or maybe got wet and then it got ruined, and then it is the same poster the teacher kept
kept
uh, on a wall, maybe for a long period of time, and maybe some of the letters go they are not maybe got missing, or some of the things are just not with a clear view, or maybe some of the things are broken. You need to replace the things, you need to replace the damaged, stolen materials. Ensure that you have the materials you need when you teach. You need to ensure that you have the correct materials that are appropriate to learners' level, and they cater all learners what learning styles need to be ready. Hmm? The materials you use in your classroom must be stored. You need to have, for example, a box where you store your materials, maybe where you store your some of the posts, maybe story posters, maybe some of the all those materials. You need to store them. The reason why is to sustain them and to make them to keep them for